All right, positive energy all the time. Here we go. Here we go. So, temporary protective status ends. It has ended for 300,000 Haitians, and the United States government is sending them back to Haiti, which to me is just crazy. Because I've seen a lot of Haitians support Donald Trump. And all of a sudden, what are we doing? Haitians, lots of Haitians supported Trump over Harris, lots of them. Now he's throwing you out. Now he's throwing Haitians out, and they're blaming foundational Black Americans like we got something to do with them being deported. And they're getting deported, and then they're making enemies out of foundational Black Americans right while they're getting deported. Oh, that's helpful. Yeah, make me want you to hurry up and get the hell out of here. That's smart. Great. Way to go. Genius. Okay. What the hell's wrong with y'all? Temporary. You've been here too long. You should have been thrown out. Temporary. Now, I speak for a lot of foundational Black Americans when we say we're not losing anything by you getting out. I hate to say this, but if they threw out all the Africans and all the Caribbeans and all the Black immigrants, it wouldn't hurt Black Americans none. It would actually benefit. It would actually open up more jobs for us. It would actually make less people eating off of our tax dollars. It would actually open up more housing, better transportation, a better way of life. It absolutely would make things better for foundational Black Americans if they threw all the other Blacks out. I know that's harsh. I'm not saying that's what I hope happens, but I can say I won't miss you because you've helped me none. Black immigrants that be talking brothers and sisters. If you're our brothers and sisters, you are the worst brothers and sisters that any brother and sister could have. If you had brothers and sisters like Black immigrants, it would be horrible. What do you want me to say? You haven't been any benefit to us. You've been our enemy. I don't know why. You speak against us. You separated from us. You don't deal with us. You're not a part of our families. We're not involved with you culturally. You're separated. And you have many of your people talking crazy about us on our turf. And we haven't touched you. And I'm not promoting any violence, but I'm thinking, what the hell's wrong with you? No wonder you're over there committing violence on each other because you don't know how to behave. What fool would come to the United States and piss off Black Americans, 50 million Black Americans, and think everything's going to work out good for you? Beating on your chest, you this great, proud Haitian that had to run from your homeland. Make that make some sense. Unbelievable. Africans too. Africans that ran all over the world and talk about they got some pride. It's like, where's your pride at? In your panties? Oh, what the hell? That's pride? Running? But man, if I drop a reggae song, boy, you're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away, but you can't run away from yourself. If you're going to send your, who is your? Who is your? I'm not sending nobody nowhere. If you're sending black immigrants home, send Arabs and Chaldeans back, I'm not sending nobody nobody. Who is your? Who is your? Who is your? Okay, you slow. Say what you mean. Who is your? I'm not sending nobody back nowhere. I don't have any power to send anybody back. You should be on Donald Trump's YouTube or Donald Trump's Instagram. You should talk to the white people that run the government. I don't know why you're talking to me. Okay? Let me delete that. I don't know who you're talking to. I'm not sending nobody nowhere. This is the problem. Why are people assuming we sending somebody somewhere? I'm not sending nobody nowhere. If I had the power to throw Haitians out, they would have been thrown out years ago. I would have threw them out a long time ago. So I'm not throwing them out. Because if it was me, it wouldn't be none to throw out. Once that first temporary was done, your ass would have been out of here. So don't blame me. I would have been worse. I wouldn't have never let all them people in here in the first place. I wouldn't have let them people in here. I wouldn't let nobody in here if I'm the president. I'm not even talking about you coming here until we take care of health care, housing, until all American citizens got housing, good jobs. No, you can't come. We got to take care of American citizens first. You don't be stacking those people on top of your people, and they ain't all got jobs, they ain't all got housing, they ain't all got medical. You could raise the pay rate. We got American kids that can't afford to pay to go to school. So where you got room to bring somebody from some other country and give them stuff, get that to the American kids so they can go to school. If it was me, I'd throw you all out, immigrants out. And let's fix our school system. Let's make sure American children can go to school. Let's make sure everybody's got housing. Let's work to bring down the cost of housing. Let's work to bring down the cost of automobile, gas, food, stuff like that. America making a mistake taking care of everybody before they take care of their own anyway. If you are proud, whatever you are, go home and be proud. Don't come here being proud here. We are proud Americans in America. You want to be a proud Haitian, be a proud Haitian in Haiti. Okay? Be proud, but be proud. If you're a proud Nigerian, go be a proud Nigerian in Nigeria. You can't be no proud Nigerian in New York. Okay, rah. Okay. Anyway, let me get rid of you. I only want intelligent conversations. Thank you kindly. But we're going to talk about it. But here goes the thing. So if Donald Trump throws out the Haitians and they start disrespecting black Americans, right? What that tell you? That tell you they been ops, right? Look, that tell you that Haitians been some haters, okay? Throw them all out. Because why is you hating us? And they some cowards. Because they ain't saying nothing to Trump. They ain't saying nothing to the white Republicans. Y'all ever notice that? Haitians is getting on the internet. The white Republican Party is throwing them out. They got no smoke. You talk about cowards. They got no smoke for the white Republican government. They got smoke for foundational black Americans that got no control over immigration, no control over TPS or nothing. We're not responsible for you being here or leaving. We're not responsible for nothing. We don't have anything to do with you. And we have no relationship with you. I speak for Black Americans. We have no relationship with Haitians and Africans and Black immigrants. They're some distant people that stay separated from us. They're not in our churches. They don't deal with us. These are not brothers and sisters. These are strangers living off our tax dollars. Mind you, our tax dollars is taking care of you. Where you think the money's coming from? You ain't paid no taxes. So now these Haitians is targeting us. Talking about Toussaint Overture. Y'all some cowards. To me. To me, I ain't hating, but Black immigrants is some cowards. To me. They don't got no smoke for Trump and the Republican Party. They won't smoke for us. That's a coward. They're cowards. You're cowards. 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 Oh, we'll pick on the Black American. You know what I'm saying? And slow. And slow. And slow. Because what if we decide don't pick on you back? What the hell? You're slow. So, bye. Bye. Go home. Bye. They can't throw you out fast enough. Brothers and sisters, it's like a relationship. If you break up with your wife, she should lose something. If she don't lose nothing and things are better, that means you ain't no good husband. If you break up with your wife and you don't lose nothing, that means she wasn't a good life. When they throw out the Haitians, we ain't gonna lose nothing. If they throw out all the Black immigrants, we ain't gonna lose nothing. We gonna gain. They talk about who gonna be the nurse. Us, our daughters. We're gonna be the CNA nurses. I know you don't think we can. That just shows you how much you know about us. We're gonna go get them jobs. Let me tell you something. If they throw the Haitians out Monday, nursing schools will be packed by Thursday. We're going to get that money. Somebody done told you wrong. Okay? Boy, y'all don't know nothing about us. When y'all drop that bag and leave that bag on the ground, y'all don't think we're gonna go pick that bag up? Because if I wasn't 68, I'd be dead in there taking people's heart rate. Oh, cough. Okay. Okay, let me take your blood pressure. I'll go get your money. Bye. 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 Don't worry about us. Go home and sweep. You know? You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, stop trying to be disrespectful before Big Pharaoh get a whole diss channel. You know, y'all keep playing. I'm gonna go get a whole channel just to diss that I'm willing to get taken down. I'm just saying. And I'm gonna start dropping the Dirt Devil jokes and stuff. I'm gonna start talking about vacuum cleaners and stuff like that. I'm gonna start insinuating that when they send you back, they need to send you back with some vacuum cleaners. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Man, I don't know what's wrong with Haitians. I think what's wrong with them is, I think what's wrong with Haitians is that first syllable, hate. They should have never named them Haitians. See, hate. See, the root word is hate. They some haters. Come on, bro. Black Americans, we ain't deport nobody. You know, I'm just saying, Black Americans, we ain't deporting nobody. Tell me I'm lying. Hey, y'all, are we throwing out Haitians? Did we call for Haitians to be thrown out? No. They had temporary protective services. And they're like, what is temporary? Temporary is for 1,000 years. Then they didn't go and go get real citizenship. And you've been on temporary status for like what, 30 years and you didn't go get your citizenship? Are you serious? Somebody like Big Pharaoh, if you gave me temporary status on Monday, I got my citizenship in 90 days. Yeah, temporary's over for me. I'm finna go get permanent. Yeah, we didn't organize anything against them. And the fact of the matter, black immigrants, we should have been demanded all y'all get out. Once you came here black and you didn't ride with your black brothers, sisters, that's for you Jamaicans, Trinidadians, all you Africans, all y'all from the Caribbean. We really should have requested y'all to get the hell out because you're the worst black people on the planet. No wonder y'all have to flee where y'all at. You're some haters. Look at Africa, all them blacks in Africa, and they can't get it together. Well, why would you want Africans to come over here? Look at Africa. Africans ain't even united in Africa, ain't even working together to fix Africa. They letting the Russians, the American government, the Chinese boss them around, the French, anybody. They come over here talking about you doing better than me and you had to run from the crib. Whatever. Then you saw, listen, even though I'm dissing y'all, let me tell you something. Black immigrants, watch this video and listen to me. Stop getting on the internet in America disrespecting black Americans because the young kids going to take that outside. I'm just giving y'all advice. I'm 68, so I'm not pushing no outside violence, but I'm telling you, we got gangs. And if that hate reached the gang mentality, what you think gonna happen? You all is starting a beef that could go outside. You don't want no black mother and father complaining about black immigrants and they little gangbanging sons and them pick up that dark energy and go outside. Yeah, them Haitians, them immigrants, they ain't nothing. And we 50 million strong, and it's only 2 or 3 million of y'all. What the hell? Like, go your ass home. Get out of here. And then you selling wolf tickets on the internet, and you ain't even about that life. What, it's for y'all? What? Slow. Making more enemies, making more hate. It's that hate for black Americans that made the Trump administration realize they could throw you out. See, y'all can't stand the United States because the United States is built on hard work, labor force, gangsters, Italian mob, Irish mob, black mob. That's what this was built as gangsters. America's gangster. And y'all don't come from that. Y'all ain't got no gangster negotiations. Y'all don't got no political type, no negotiations. Who in their right mind that's black, that's got the Republicans throwing you out, will get on the internet and disrespect black Americans? Who would do that? So now your only people can stand up for you is black Americans. So you get on the internet. You black Americans ain't no good. You black Americans ain't this. You black Americans ain't that. Kick your legs. So we like, okay, bye. So now the Republicans look and say, black Americans don't support them because they constantly hating on black Americans. What make you think white America is going to respect you disrespecting black Americans? This is why I say, black immigrants, you don't understand how this goes. You look at the problem between white and black America, but you don't understand that once it gets down to America, they're going to ride with us. They're not going to ride with you. Period. They're not going to ride with you. The Republican Party is not going to ride with immigrant blacks over black Americans. You understand? You're going to lose. They're going to side with the Americans. Period. Period. They're not going to side with you. You're going to lose. And they're going to look at you as doing something they wouldn't do. They're not going to condone that. They're going to look at you as a black person going against your own race. Who's going to respect that? Huh? Who's going to respect watching these black people go against their own race and their race ain't got nothing to do with them being deported? Exactly. It got to go. They're done. Because now we don't want you here either. We don't want you here. We want you gone. We don't want you here. Not one tear. We're not going to drop one tear. We want you gone. You've exposed your hand. And the Africans is next. The Africans, you're next. We want y'all gone too. Enough is enough. You know, yesterday's price is not today's price, okay? All that disrespect that you did in 2020, 2010, 1990, 1980, 1970, that's it. It's a wrap. It's honest to say, Africans ain't never been cool. Never. Never been cool. Never, never, never. You say, who cares? I thought you clicked on, you care. Then you click on. Hey, what's up with clicking on and saying nobody don't care, but you clicking on? Come on, man. You got to go get you some testosterone. Get your testosterone up, okay? This is what you do. Hold your breath until I click on something you got. I'm never going to click on nothing you got. You know that, right? Come on, man. Get your testosterone up. I know you didn't click on me to tell me you don't like me. Okay. And so the whole thing is crazy to me. Black immigrants are showing their true colors. They never really liked us. They always were competing with us. They always looked at us as competition. They always had black immigrants always had an inferiority complex. This is why they always trying to prove we're smarter than you. We do this more than you. Or we do that more than you. And it's like, what is you saying all that for? Now, to black Americans, when they tell you that these Africans got these high scores in school and stuff, they're comparing them to the middle black Americans. They're not comparing black immigrants to the top black Americans. There's no competition. They compare them to the 60, 70%. From 0 to 60, 70%. That's who they compare Africans to. They do not compare Africans to the top black Americans. They don't. Because it's a whitewash. See, I don't tell you that. We come in, we do better than you. No, you don't. No, you don't. Listen, do the math. If it's 1 million Africans, right? And it's 50 million black Americans, right? Do the math. When they come, if they do good, a lot of them white, this is the black American chart. So a lot of them Africans, if it's 1 million and they do good, right? Right? They're going to go like to here, right? They're going to do better than a lot of black Americans. True. But they're not going to do better than all the black Americans. So what they do is they take their spot here and they compare themselves against gangs, people that dropped out of school. They compare themselves to the lower half of black Americans. But the best Africans are only ranked here. They're not ranked above the best foundational Black Americans, not nowhere close. They're nowhere close to our best. Nowhere. So they be playing when they say we come in, we do better than you. That's like me going to school and I get a bunch of A's and a bunch of other kids get A's, but I compare myself to the ones getting C's and D's. That's what they do. They don't compare themselves to the best. They rank themselves with the ones that ain't doing so good. But the ranking ain't fair because there's a whole bunch of dusty Africans that don't know nothing. Why you don't compare all of them losers in Haiti? You see what I'm saying? But what are you doing in Haiti? Compare the blacks, compare Nigerians to Black Americans, and you lose. Compare Ghanaians, the whole Ghanaians, to Black Americans, and you lose. Don't take a couple and send them over here and then get some scholarships and get some good jobs and try to act like you represent your people. No, you don't. You represent all of the people you fled from, too. So if you're so smart, why'd you have to flee your country? Why couldn't you get that education and do good in your country? If you're so smart, if Nigerians are so smart, why are you all over the world getting education somewhere else? Why aren't you getting education in Nigeria? Why you have to flee Nigeria? Why are you scamming all over the world? So what you do is you come, you leave, you do well, and then you try to act like your people doing better than us, but we're not running. So how you doing better than us? We're not fleeing. How you doing better than us when you had to flee? You had to flee because y'all ain't doing so well. You have to flee Nigeria because Nigeria sucks and Nigerians aren't doing so well. You have to flee Ghana. You have to flee Ethiopia. You have to flee your country because y'all not doing well. That's not a sign that you're doing well, that you fled and come over here and do well. That's also us. That shows you got to come get around me to do well. If you don't come get around me, you're not even going to do well. You don't come get around me, you're not going to have that car. You're not going to have nothing. In every situation where you're in Africa getting money, you running with the Chinese or the Saudis or somebody's helping you or the Russians. Show me an African country that ain't getting money because of the Russians, the Chinese, the Saudis, or the American government. You don't got no country that's doing nothing without a European countries or Asian countries funding you. Africans can't build nothing. Ethiopia, oh, China, how much? Kenya, oh, China, how much? All that stuff y'all building, the Chinese building it. You're not really building nothing in Africa. Africans ain't building nothing. Burkina ain't building nothing. Russia building that. Russia and China building that for him. He's not building nothing. He's just a puppet. Yeah, this big pharaoh, come get this work. So how you run to somebody else's country and then say you're doing better than somebody when you had to run from your country to their country to succeed? Make some sense. I'm seeing all these Africans talking about they came here doing better than me. How you doing better than me when you had to come where I'm at? You're doing worse than me. You had to run. And yeah, you work hard. When you come from a failing country, you're going to work harder than everybody that come from a better country. Sometimes people from a better country take it easy. When you look at psychologically, the reason Black immigrants do so good in school because their country tore up from the floor up and make you want to throw up. I'd work hard too. I'd work harder than everybody if I came from Africa. Why you work so hard when you leave Africa? Because Africa tore up. So you're trying to prove something, which is cool. They got the numbers, but they ain't got the numbers when it comes to building nothing and do nothing. Right? He said the average Nigerian household got 100,000. I lived in LA. He a lie. He a lie. A lot of Nigerians and selling illegal substances and everything, scamming and everything all over the world. Nigeria is known as the biggest scammers in Africa. Every country in Europe trying to throw Nigerians out. Nigeria's number one reputation around the world is scammers. Yeah, y'all got money, but your number one reputation is scammers. That's the reputation of Nigeria. A lot of that money is illegal money. Nigerians be having a lot of illegal money. They're known for scammers. Nigerians are well known for scamming. Many of them houses and stuff they got is through illegal gains. Sorry you're talking to Big Pharaoh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Come on, get this work. Come on, get the guy. Come on. Don't run. Come back. Don't run. This Big Pharaoh. Let's see what Google say. Yes. Nigeria has a long-standing global reputation for internet and financial fraud, specifically known for 419 advanced free fraud, the Nigerian Prince scam, and cyber swindles run by groups locally called Yahoo Boys. However, while cybercrime is a notable issue, the stereotype often generalizes an entire nation where the vast majority of citizens are honest, hardworking people. So they said, yeah, a lot of y'all honest, hardworking people, but the honest, hardworking people is broke. The ones with all that money is the scammers, okay? It's scammers. Hey, one time I was doing a live, right, on Instagram. So some Nigerian kids, right? They come into my thing. They come into my Instagram live and they say, we love you. We love you a lot. We love you. We watch you all the time. We love you. We love you all the time, right? So I keep watching them. And then at one point I see them, they go and it's this old dude. And they run around this old dude. I said, that's the one got them calling, right? So the next day, the Nigerian kid hit me back on Instagram and say, I love you. You're like a father to me. Could you send me $200? Yeah, stay over here so you can get this work. Stay over here, Rob. Stay over here and get this work. Get this work. Don't run. Look, Nigerian illicit sales fall into two distinctly separate markets. The legal pharmaceutical industry, which is currently seeing strong revenue growth driven by rising local healthcare demands, and the illicit trade, which positions Nigeria as a major international trafficking transit hub. Okay? Illicit. International law enforcement agencies flag Nigeria primarily as a transit country connected illicit substance production zones in South America, Asia, to high demand consumer markets in Europe and North America. This is what they known for. See, stop playing with Big Pharaoh, okay? Stop playing with me. Stop playing. Okay, I gotta let you go. It ain't been nice talking to you. Go home and clean up your country. You know what I'm saying? And stop talking to Big Pharaoh. Because a lot of the Nigerian money is illegal. You're known for the scammers. Everybody know that. This Big Pharaoh, I got Nigerian friends. Okay? I got Nigerian friends. Hold on. When I was in the county jail, the brothers couldn't find no H. They said, Farrell, could you get the H in here? I said, yeah. They said, how? I went and talked to my homie, Nigeria. I said, Nigeria, can you get some H in here? Ah, it was in there. How I knew Nigeria could get it? Because that's what they do. I'm just saying. I don't know. We ain't talking about Mexicans. Mexicans is hard workers, though. One thing about Mexicans, I mess with Mexicans now, but they gangbanging in LA, so I don't know how that's going to end up. But one thing I know about Mexicans, Mexicans work hard. Mexicans roofing, carpentry, plumbing. They don't always do a good job depending on who they work for. But I ain't gonna just I'd much rather work with Mexicans than Nigerians. And the thing about Mexicans is Mexicans is Mexicans. So I'm not gonna judge Mexican. But these black brothers, they the ones get the judgment because you black. How you black? Right? How you black? They do the jobs we don't want to do. Like they cut my grass. I ain't cutting it. Why would I cut my grass when I could pay them? I'm not cutting no grass. They doing jobs we don't do. Let me break something down to you about that. America is built off of people coming here, doing certain work, moving up in society, and then the next group come in and do that work. It's been like that. That's American history. As people become more into the system, make more money, they move up and they pass the other jobs to the other immigrants. It's been like that way back when they passed those jobs down to the Irish, right? So they passed those jobs down to the Irish. And when you start talking about construction, that's false information because they only do low-level construction. They're not doing high-level construction like they're not doing skyscrapers. They just doing homes. If you go downtown Chicago, when they building a building, you're going to see white men. You ain't going to see Mexicans. So if you're going to tell the story, tell that Mexicans do low-level construction. They not building stadiums and shit like that. If you go downtown Chicago, when they building the stadium, you going to see white men. You not going to see Mexicans. I'm giving you some game at this point. You trolling? Yeah, you trolling. I don't want to keep talking to you trolling. Go get you a life. Get a life, okay? Get a life. What's your point? I already proved what you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That when you come to Chicago and you're talking to high-ranking construction, that's white. It's white. When you talk about homes and low-level construction, it's Mexican. Black Americans in Chicago don't do them jobs. We police, firemen. We work for the government. We work for state. We work for Illinois State, right? Right? We work for Illinois State. We work for the United States government. You understand? When I came out of high school, I worked for a Treasury Department. I worked for a stock exchange. I left for the stock exchange. I worked for the U.S. Treasury Department. We got good jobs. You know what I'm saying? Shut up and go raise your kids, bro. Ain't you got kids? Go raise your kids. I ain't your kid. Go raise your kids. How you gonna come and try to raise your kids and tell me what to speak for? Get off your lazy butt, get your own channel. You know what I'm saying? And you not Menelik. Stop using a bootleg name. It's nothing royal about you. Go get your kids. Go mind your business. It's Big Pharaoh. And I ain't your brother. I don't even know you. I don't even know if you black. All right? So look, move around, Cloud. Move around. Move around. I know y'all want to troll, but I'm in Chicago. And the fact remains is that black immigrants, you ain't been no good brothers and no good sisters, no matter what you say. You strange to us. You come to a country that black people out your country, you become an enemy to the black person. And the thing about the black immigrant, you only stand against other black people. You don't stand against no European at all. Right? This is black men from other countries. See, we go head up against white America. But black immigrants, they only go against black Americans. You don't see them go against the system at all. When they come to the European man, they, yes, sir, master, yes, sir, can I help you, master, can I carry? This is how they is, I'm telling you. Africans act one way with other black people, and you should see them with white people. Oh, boy, they be just a grinning. I will get this for you, sir. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God, they got two attitudes. Because they come from Africa, right? Where they hate each other. See, that's African culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mexicans be cutting grass and doing, we don't do. See, a lot of people, when they come over talking about jobs, they don't know what jobs we do. Right? They talk about Haitians is working as nurses. Them is CNAs. Them not RNs. They're not RNs or doctors or nothing. They got the jobs our daughters get out of high school. Our daughters come out and be RNs. You ain't going to see a lot of black immigrant women as RNs. They're going to be CNAs. It's a fact. They're going to be the low-level nurses. And they be working in the hospital doing cleaning and shit like that. They don't be no high level in no medical here like that. And like, we the one working in your hospital. Yeah, where the jobs we don't want to do, you changing bed sheets and shit. You working at nursing home changing bed sheets. Come on, this big Pharaoh. My daughter just graduated a few years from nursing. There wasn't no Africans in the whole thing. There was no Africans. Facts. There were no Africans graduated. Everybody graduated was white or some kind of like European, like strange countries, like Czechoslovakia and stuff like that. There wasn't no bunch of blacks. There wasn't even a whole bunch of black Americans when she graduated. They was all white or these real light-skinned foreign people with real national, Klakobonsky. Yeah, when my daughter graduated, because I didn't really like the fact there wasn't a lot of foundational black Americans. Everybody in there was white-looking or a light-skinned Asian-looking. There was no black West Indians or Africans like that. The only time you seen black people stand up and clapping, they was FBA. Every time a black person walked across there, the blacks would stand up and clap. They was all FBA. Wasn't no, they not at them colleges getting them type of levels of education like that. No, that's a lie. That's all fraud. That's a lie. That's a lie. Africans is taking low-level jobs. There's a few that get into like taxes, keeping records, economical jobs where you keep records, stuff like that. I know some brothers, I got some African brothers, they got good jobs. They make good money. But they far and few in between. All this Africans make all this money. First, it ain't no goddamn Africans, right? How you gonna take 1 million Africans, right, in this country and compare 1 million Africans to 50 million black Americans and say that them 1 million Africans is doing better than the 50 million? Them million Africans ain't doing nothing compared to the 50 million. They can't even compare with out of the 50 million black Americans, Africans are not comparing with the top 20% of them. They don't start competing till like 25% and down. You're a fool if you really think that 1 million is outdoing 50 million. You sound crazy. It might be 1.7 million. And you talk about they compete. They don't even got no numbers to compete. They only got no numbers to compete. Their numbers is bigger because there's people like me ain't showing the records. Their numbers ain't like that, like people think. That's all false. And then their numbers don't reflect nothing. So it's like if you're making so much money, where's it at? Right? Right? If Africans is doing so good, why Africa's a hellhole? Where is it at? Where is the money? Where is the prosperity? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the money. To me, that's all false. That's all cap. Another thing too is here's another thing where they be comparing the Africans. Let me break down some knowledge to y'all. When the Africans come here and go to school, they not functioning like Americans, right? What do I mean they're not functioning like Americans? They're not a part of American society, okay? Right? So this gonna be the difference. You come from Africa, and then you go to school for some high position job, right? Watch me break this down. But when you live in America, America need bus drivers. America need firemen. America need people to drive ambulance. America need police. So Africans don't live in a real American world. They fake. They're coming from Africa picking certain jobs that don't represent what it takes to run a country. Okay? Because you can't run a country with a few Africans with these jobs. Who gonna be the police? Who gonna be the firemen? Who gonna drive the ambulance? That's the difference. So what they want to do is come in from Africa and compare themselves to the people that keep the country running for their ass, right? Because they getting in cabs. They got to get on the L train. They got to get on the bus. So they look down on the very jobs that it takes for the country to run. A country can't run on all high skilled educational jobs. This why they got to go the fuck back to Africa because they don't understand the United States. If your son can get out of high school and go and become a police officer, why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he? So some African to come, he don't have to do no responsibility to keep the country running, so he can go to school and get this high-ranking job. But when something happens, he got to call the police because they don't respect police, nurses. They don't respect somebody got to work at the bakery. Somebody got to work at the food places. They don't understand that. That's why the African economy is shot because you can't run no country with all high paying jobs. That's not even realistic. You need every job field to run a country. That's why Africa is raggedy and behind. Because who gonna do the other work? You ever seen some of them countries in Africa when it's a fire, they out there with buckets. They out there with buckets, passing buckets to put out fires. They don't have sophisticated fire departments. They don't have that. So you're dealing with some people that's not looking at the real America. They look down on the same jobs that they have to go to. Okay? Real talk. But to run a country, all positions got to be filled. All positions. Somebody got to drive the bus. Somebody got to be a fireman. Somebody got to drive a bus. Somebody got to drive a taxi. Somebody got to do those other jobs. So when they come over here bragging about this high pay, that's why Africa's raggedy. Because who gonna do the work? So you come over and get high pay, but you stay here, you won't go back home. So what are you bragging about? You're living in a fake world with a fake imagination. All jobs got to be respected. If it's my daughter's birthday, where I'm gonna get a cake at? So the bakery people ain't no good because they don't got no job like no special smart Nigerian that's gonna go get a birthday cake for their baby. This was they filed. They use all them services that they say ain't worthy to work at. That's why they got to get the hell out of here. No, it wasn't no ambulance. That's why they got to get out of here. Because they live in a fantasy world. See, immigrants live in a fantasy, especially the black ones. They come here on fantasy. They can't help this country. They come here as on a fantasy. We don't look down on these jobs because our kids work these jobs. As soon as they get out of high school. We don't look down on jobs here. We don't got our nose there. That's why Nigerians has got to be some of the worst. Africans come from over here, from a failing continent, and then put your nose in the air from a failing continent. I see Haitians talking crazy, but got to run. Yeah, I don't know. You know, your God, pray to your God to pray to your God about mental health, okay? Mental health is the issue, okay? With you, okay? Work on your mental health, bro. Work on your mental health. Okay? God ain't help you much with your mental health. Trolling around posting God stuff. You'll be on the news one day for doing something crazy. Go get help. Right? So this is when you watch Africans and you hear them trying to say their accomplishment is not what's needed to build a country. They dream of coming somewhere and getting high paying jobs, which tell you they're not trying to rebuild Africa. Because if you want to rebuild Africa, you need all jobs, right? So they coming and their mentality is to compete with us. Their mentality ain't to go home and fix their country. So I'm trying to figure out how you run from somewhere and compete with us when you had to run from where you at. You're already losing. Like you had to run. You had to run. You had to leave your country. How could you come to somebody else's country and beat on your chest about how great you are, but you had to come to their country to achieve something? And then when we want to throw you out, you start crying like a baby. Look at the Haitians. They so proud to be Haitians, but they won't go fix Haiti. They so proud. Oh, they did so much in the world. But if it was us down there unaliving each other like that, what would they say about us? Why Haitians ain't taking responsibility for barbecue? He Haitian. Everything they destroy in Haiti, those are Haitians. Africans. Everything, the reason Africa is no good, Africans is doing it. Why you don't never speak on the Africans that the reason Africa is failing? I think that's a fair question. Why don't you compare us to Africa? Why you Africa to come over here and compare his employment and what he do to what we doing. But he'll never compare his country to what we built because he is over here. So your country ain't shit. How you standing on what you are, but you ran from where you from? How you come to somebody else's country and try to say you better than them and their country, but you couldn't build your own country? Make that make some sense. Africans can't do nothing in Africa. I mean nothing in Africa. They all over the world running. You're all over the world running. And you come here and you become a billionaire, whatever, and you brag you're a billionaire, right? You come here from Africa, you say, I came to America, I made a billion, right? Well, they ain't making no billions. They might become millionaires. But for the record, there are 989 billionaires in the United States, okay? And y'all is just a two. There are 989 billionaires in the United States, and they are not Africans, okay? I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you. But you're doing nothing, okay? Okay, it's not impressive, okay? There's 23, really 24 million millionaires in the United States, representing about 40% of millionaires worldwide. Millionaires in America represent almost half the millionaires worldwide. We got more millionaire Black Americans playing sports than the whole Africa. Okay? They over there trying to pick up a basketball to come over here and make some money. I never seen no disrespectful people that's trying to come over here and play in the NBA while disrespecting the place you got to come to and disrespecting the people that created the NBA, that was there to build it. That's why I don't like these Black immigrants. They got to go home. They're very disrespectful. They really cannot help this country because they come in and they eating off a country that they don't respect, they don't honor, and they don't respect the opportunity they had to come to the United States. How do you let somebody come to your country and then do well and then turn around and talk bad on that country that had to flee from their country? And you do not see white immigrants do that. You only see Africans. You don't see white immigrants come here and backstab America. You only see Africans mainly, and some Black Caribbeans. They're the only ones that will come to some other country, get opportunity, and brag about the country they had to leave. Horrible. If I had to come here from some country to get education, there's no way I would ever say anything bad about that country that gave me the opportunity to make some money, go back and help my people. But no, they get all on the internet disrespecting the very country they had to run to, flying them flags exactly from a failed nation, and think that people not going to throw you out. People going to throw you out. People not going to let you come to their country and fly your flag. They're going to throw you out. There's always going to be people suffer because there's always lazy ass people. When you go to school, do everybody do their homework? No. Do everybody do their work on time? No. Do everybody work hard? No. So their ass gonna be poor. Facts. So yeah, there's gonna always be poor people because there's always lazy people don't want to do nothing. Period. You ever work with people? You ever started a business? Or you ever ran a record label or something like that? You ever put any money into rappers? And you put $10,000 in a rapper, he's lazy as shit. He don't do a goddamn thing. He won't even go rap. He won't produce or nothing. You just pour money down the drain. And then you find somebody and they blow up and you make money. And now his dusty ass in there talk about everybody didn't make no money. Bro, you was the laziest rapper ever. You know how much money I invested in lazy ass rappers? You know how many rappers I had to fire? They want to come to the studio and smoke and sit around and lay around. I had to tell them don't bring no girls in here. Didn't concentrate on their careers. Never go out and find gigs on their own. Never promote their music on social media. Think the record label gonna do everything? So you don't work, you don't eat. So yeah, America got a lot of money here, but everybody ain't gonna have no money because it's a lot of lazy people. So no, everybody should be living good. No, they shouldn't. No, no. Let me read that back. No. Let me post that back. Nobody should be suffering when you go out here and become a dope fiend, an alcoholic. When you go out here and blow all your money like Adrian Bronner. So Adrian Bronner should have money. He should keep becoming a millionaire and broke again. He should have money, but he's an alcoholic. Can't keep no money when he get it. No, that's not true. You reap what you sow. Yeah, you don't work, you don't eat. Even if you're in the United States, right? Yeah, some people they just gonna be like that. But my thing with the immigrants, they need to get out of here. To me, you shouldn't trust nobody, right? You shouldn't trust nobody that come to your country but constantly love another country more than the one get them opportunity. Because when you get in need, they're gonna run. The problem with black immigrants, America should get them out of here. Because if you gotta go to war, they gonna run. They only here for the good part. They not here for the hard work, right? As soon as there's a war, there won't be a Haitian or African nowhere. We'll have to go fight the war. We fought all these wars. Where was they at? We fought all these wars. World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Desert Storm. I can name Iraq. I can name them. Those people are freeloaders. They here and they are black, but when there's smoke, black Americans, we the one gonna suit up and boot up and go to war. Them Africans and them, they ain't gonna go to war, they gonna run. They professional runners, I'm telling you. America gotta stop letting people in this country that ain't gonna fight for this country, that ain't gonna be here when things go bad. And when people run from their country when things go bad, what you think they're gonna do in your country when things go bad? These are runners. Kick them out. Make them go home and fix their country. Because they not gonna have no loyalty to you. They don't even got no loyalty to their own country. Bruh, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But mental health is serious. Like, go get some mental health, bro. Go get some mental health. You know what I'm saying? Go see a doctor. Let them check your head out. You know what I'm saying? When you look at military and you look at stand up and fight for your country, You cannot trust people that flee their country. Can't trust them. No, they're not going to join the military because they just smoochers. They're just smoochers. They're like your friend that you say, hey, man, I'm finna go over here, man. I got a job, man. They need 3 men, man, to go over here and do this, man. They going to pay us. He said, all right. He said, we leaving the day after tomorrow. I'm going to call you tomorrow. So the next day come, you call, you need 3 men. You call your other 2, they come. You call a third one, he don't show up. So you call a fourth one to replace him. So y'all get together, y'all go, boom, y'all go make the money. Y'all work hard, the weekend come, y'all barbecue outside and stuff. He come, right? He come, he want to eat the barbecue. He come to the party. He never call you and say, I ain't going to be able to go to it. He just ghosts you. But when you get the reward, guess who pop up? That's black immigrants. And then with this situation, black immigrants have showed us we cannot trust them. You see the disrespect? You see the hate? We ain't going to forget that. And when something happened in their country, I ain't sending a dime. I didn't send no money to Jamaica. I'm telling you. So here we go. Watch this. Let me show you something. The Mexicans and Latinos will run also. Now, let me show you where that statement is a problem. Mexicans and Latinos don't come over here pretending they're black. Talk about the black that rat on the black ones, right? So this I guarantee there's probably a black person that don't want to stand on the fact. Listen, who should we expect the most from? Hispanic immigrants or black immigrants? Put it in the chat. Because people playing stupid. As black Americans, who should we expect the most from? A Mexican or a Hispanic or a black? Who should we respect the most for? Black Africans, black Caribbeans, or Mexicans and shit? Because they keep saying, what about the Mexicans? What about them? We don't expect nothing from them. We don't expect nothing from non-blacks. We expect something from the black ones. So this is how they keep trying to, because the Mexican can't cosplay me. It's these Caribbeans and Africans come over here, they dress like me, right? And all that. Look, let me see what this is. This is a lady with her hair like a white lady. Say, black men, you have allowed the white man to keep his on your okay, so why is you coming here? If he's got his neck on our throat, why is you running here? You don't make no sense. So you run into a place like that. So see, you're phony. You're phony. You say he got his neck on our throat, but yet we got the opportunity. Then you run your ass over here and get the opportunity. Well, if he got his neck on our throat, how do we provide opportunity for you to come here? Huh? Why you running here? And where you ran from? Because obviously somebody got their neck on your throat because you running from your country too. You down there in the earthquake begging master to come and save you too. And it ain't no bigger sellouts than you Hispanics that have been totally breeded out. I mean, they bred y'all out. Y'all ain't even brown no more. So baby, bye. Baby, bye. Like they ain't down there dogging you. What's going on in Venezuela? She talking crazy. She don't know this big pharaoh. What you mean on our neck? I thought Trump just invaded Venezuela. I thought they down there telling you what to do in Mexico and South America. I thought they telling you what to do down there. I thought y'all prisons in South and Central America was a hellhole. And the Europeans, y'all begging the European for aid. Last time I checked, y'all running to America begging too. Begging the same white dudes. You know what? The white man got his foot on our neck and you ran up here from Mexico, washing cars for $3 an hour. They got a business up here that make bread and cookies and stuff like that. And they had the Mexicans working there for like 12 hours. And they only get 2 or 3 breaks, 15-minute breaks, making bread and cookies. The Mexicans. How a Hispanic gonna say anything about somebody with their foot on their neck when you around here working for nothing? Hispanics is the biggest slaves alive. Keep it real. Hispanics are the biggest slaves. Come on, man. Ain't no bigger slaves than Hispanics. Y'all like, we will take the slave job. We will pick your tomatoes for nothing, senora. You out there picking tomatoes for 25 cents an hour. Girl, you don't shut your goof ass up on 40 grade. Let's take a break. Boy, this big Pharaoh, stop playing me. They come up here talking about the white man got his foot on our neck when a white Israeli decimated the whole Palestinians, like blew up the whole Palestine. So if they got their foot on our neck, what do you call Palestine? Because that's worse than a foot on the neck. I'm just asking for a friend. The white Israelis blew up the whole Palestine. So what's after foot on the neck? What you call that? What you call that? What you call Palestine, what they did to Palestine? What you call what they do in Iran? What you call that? What you call that? What you call that? Baby, bye. Foot on the neck and all that. They just see Black Americans, we get the most jealousy in the whole world. The whole world is jealous of Black Americans. But nobody want to walk our walk, or you know what I'm saying? See, Black Americans, we the only ones that been in a white country for hundreds of years. The rest of these so-called third world people, they've been at home. Africans been in Africa. All the rest of them been somewhere. Foundational Black Americans, we're the only ones that come up in a white country. We come up in a total white country, right? And when we come up in a total white country, we did better than all the blacks in the black countries. We did better than everybody. We did better than the whole Caribbean. We did better than all the blacks in Europe. And we did better than every black country in Africa. The number one blacks in the world is foundational black Americans coming up in a white country. And once we got to the 70s and we was all over the TV, all them other blacks came to where we was at. They ran over here. They ain't stand on no business. Jamaicans ran up here. Trinidadians ran up here. Nigerians ran here. Ghanaians ran here. All the black people in the diaspora. They watched us suffer in this country for 200 years. They didn't come help. They ain't stand on shit. And once they seen we did well, they all ran over here. That's the real story. All of them, they ran over here. And then they run over here with no honor and respect with their nose stuck up. How you run here from Africa looking at me crazy? And what do? Because we gangbang, right? Have we banged on Africans? Have we banged on Jamaicans? Have we banged on them yet? I'm just asking. I'm not saying we should. I'm asking a simple question. Have we did them like we could do them? Y'all don't think that's a fair question? I'm just saying. Do they realize what we could have did to Haitians? What we could do to Nigerians? What we can do to Ghanaians? What we can do to Jamaicans? Did we do that? What we can do? I'm in Chicago. It's a white country. America's a white country. America got 340 million people, and there's only 50 million black Americans. I live in the real world. The majority race in this country is white. That's why. It's a white country. And I said we came up in a white country, which it was. See, because what y'all don't understand is about white Americans, y'all think they just white people, but they not. What I mean by that, white Americans had to fight white people to become Americans. Oh yeah, white Americans had to fight the British and the French to become Americans. White Americans don't ride with no other whites. White Americans went to war with other whites. Facts. See, you don't know the history. White Americans went to war with white people to get free. Okay, I'm in Chicago. There is no black person causing me no problem here. Okay? That's fake, okay? There is no Africans or no Caribbeans causing us no problems. That's fake. Okay? That's fake. Our beef with Tethers is they adding to our army. So if you're not adding to our army, you got to get the fuck out of here. That's our problem. Our problem is we're not building with you. So we look at it like this. Well, if we ain't building with you, then you useless, then get out. That's why we looking at it. Come and build or buy. But don't come and just eat off the plate like a smoocher. Because Tethers are smoochers, leeches. They just eating off the plate of black Americans, but they don't want to cook or nothing. That's why we don't like you. Well, it ain't we don't like you because you causing no real problems like that. Like you ain't causing that kind of problems. No, they not. No, they not. Let me deal with this person. No, they not. No, they not. Where you from? No, you're not. They white. They didn't already breeded all that out. 91 Tom. No, they breeded that out, bro. They just white now. They ain't been all that stuff since by the 70s. They wasn't that no more. They was only that when they still had like Little Italy, little Greece stuff. They don't got that no more. Once they start sending their kid to colleges, the white dudes will just sleeping with any white girls. So they don't represent no specific country no more. They just white now. See, New York is on the water, bro. New York is on the East Coast. So New York is an immigrant town. So New York is nothing like Chicago. Okay? New York is nothing like Chicago. So for you to try to compare New York, Chicago, I already know you some immigrant or something. You don't know nothing. Because New York is on the coast, bro. New York is the Statue of Liberty and it's on the ocean. So anything on the ocean, New York, Miami, California, anything on the edges is gonna be immigrant. Nothing ain't gonna be like Chicago. We in the middle. This is America. When you get on the borders, it's immigrant. Okay? Africans try to Africanize Black America to claim Black Americans' accomplishments or legacy. Africans ain't even Africans, ain't even unified. And so Africans ain't even Africans. So when you see somebody in Africa talking to us, while Africans don't get along with Africans, what that tell you? Africans do not even get along. So imagine some black people in the continent that don't work together, that don't get along, right? That got mad xenophobia, that's beefing with each other all over the world. Imagine them getting in our business. All over Europe, Africans is beefing with Africans and white countries. Yes, countries in Germany, cities in Germany, cities in England. They in small cities all over, cities in Italy. And they in those cities beefing like two different types of Africans. That's what they known for, beefing with each other. How we gonna work with somebody don't work with their own people? You know, Africans have to be barred and they have to go get themselves together. I don't want no African trying to tell me something he don't even like another African. See what I'm saying? You don't even like another African. Y'all just had big xenophobia in South Africa. South Africa, y'all just threw out the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, the Ethiopians. Y'all just was beefing, right? So imagine an African trying to tell us something why the African in Africa don't get along with the African. Do that make sense? So they fraudulent. Like they fraudulent. They hate us. They hate us. They hate each other. What make you think they gonna get along with us? They don't get along. They don't get along. You can't listen to somebody from Africa that's trying to come over here and tell you over here ain't nothing, but this way they want to come. Make it make sense. You say this ain't nothing. Now you complaining because ICE throwing you out. Which one is it? Which one is it? I've watched Haitians on social media talk a little crazy, but I ain't gonna lie. Haitians ain't said too much back to Black Americans. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't really seen Haitians trolling us. Now they might have been trolling us and didn't tell us they was Haitians. Most of the people that troll us is Africans. Africans have been the worst on this social media. They're just Africans are absolutely a disgrace. Seriously. Got all the natural resources, got all that land, don't like each other, and in everybody else's business but your own. Going living in other people's land and talking crazy and you a squatter. You know what I'm saying? You a squatter. You know that ain't cool to me. To me, that's not cool because they like squatters. And it's like, how you always in somebody else's land running all over the world talking crazy. So that's why I really can't really, deal with their whole thing, their whole situation to me. Their whole situation to me is foul. What could you say? You can't even stay home. You know what I mean? It seemed like you would just be humble to me. To me, it seemed like they would be the last people to say anything because they squatters. The Haitians are squatters. The Africans are squatters. They come to a land and they just squat. They just stay and just stay. You know, they give you temporary status instead of you going and getting it permanent. You just squat for 30 years. They got to throw your old black ass out. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between them and foundational black Americans. If I go to a country and they give me temporary status, I'm going to get my citizenship. I'm not going to sit there and wait till it run out. Am I lying? They give me temporary status. I go to the country right now. They give me temporary status. They say it lasts 5 years, right? It's August. I'm applying for my shit now. I'm applying. Listen, if I go to Nigeria and I want to stay, and they say they're going to give me temporary status for 5 years, and it's August, I'm applying for my citizenship before September. On my soul, I'm applying for my shit now. Oh, everything I love. If I want to stay there, I'm not going to just sit there 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. Okay, we extended another 10 years. Another 10. We extended 30 years. 30 years you've been in the United States on temporary status. Let me make sure. 16 years. 16 years. You sat there. Haitian nationals held temporary protective status for 16 years since 2010. Bruh, bruh. You sat your ass there since 2010 to live off of shit free. Smoochers. Let them run an okey doke on them. You know what I'm saying? Run an okey doke on them. You can't make this stuff up. Let them run an okey doke on you and then go down there and steal all your iridium, right? Steal all your iridium for their spaceships and shit, and let barbecue keep the place crazy so nobody know they stealing your iridium for these satellites, right? And for these spaceships, and so that you can have this internet, right, for Elon Musk, right? Because this is the most valuable metal in the world, and it's in Haiti, it's in South Africa, and a couple other places. And this metal don't get cold and don't get hot, so it could go to space. It could fly up by the sun, and it won't melt, right? So they running the game. Nobody gonna tell y'all what's really going on. They running the game on the Haitians down there stealing the iridium. That's what's really going on. If they let it become a decent country, now they got to register all that. Now all that got to go through legal means. But if they keep it like it is, trust me, there's business companies and stuff there with big manufacturing taking this iridium and paying barbecuing them to keep the front end looking crazy. So you keep the front end of Haiti looking crazy, looking uncivilized and wild, and you go on the back end and you steal all the iridium, the most valuable metal in the world. So that's why they got Haiti like that. Okay? Running the game on them, right? On my soul. Ask somebody. Go check it out. They still in their iridium and rhodium. They got rhodium too. They got rhodium. They got rhodium too. And they got diamonds and gold. But this what the one they want. They want the iridium. But they got rhodium too. They got rhodium. They're taking their rhodium too. This the rhodium. They taking the rhodium and they taking their iridium. On my soul. You know, I got to tell my people what's really, really going on behind the scenes, robbing them blind. Listen, none of these people know this system like foundational Black Americans, okay? This what they use the iridium for. On my soul. This is why other blacks, they ain't on our level. So we don't want them here because they don't got the military mind state. They still primitive. They don't know nothing. The United States ain't giving you temporary nothing. Only foundational Black Americans know that. Yeah, they've just found the mountains full of gold, but they don't care about the gold because gold ain't iridium worth how much more money than gold? Gold ain't worth nothing compared to iridium. Listen, let me tell y'all something. You see all that money, free money they was giving the Haitians? This why other blacks, they gotta go. Cause they don't listen to us. They don't follow us. So they add to being rant over. Because we Black Americans, they say, are you jealous that America been giving Haiti money and a free ride all this time? They ain't gave them nothing. That's the Haitians' money. They taking their stuff and giving them crumbs from their stuff. They not giving them nothing. They don't see. That's why they don't know the war. They not in the war. They taking this and they giving them bird seed. America ain't giving them nothing. That's why they don't match us. That's why Black immigrants is a problem. If we get too many Black immigrants here, right? Hey, if we get too many black immigrants here, now they can run a game on black people. Okay? Because the black immigrants is slow. So if they get a bunch of them here, they could just run a gang. Exactly. We ain't gonna even talk about the children. We ain't gonna talk about the organ harvesting. Because your organs is tainted down there. So they'll bring a bunch of you up here and clean out your organs a couple years, like you have some babies with some clean organs. Everybody know, black Americans know, when you get poor in America, you could sell blood. I know people that sell blood every couple months. They sell their blood. And if they take them tests and they got any type of uh, 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 diseases, they can't sell their blood no more. If they having all that sex and picking up STDs, they can't sell their blood no more. Sell their blood got to be clean. They ain't giving the Haitians nothing. They not giving the Africans nothing. They robbing they robbing blacks around the world, robbing them. They robbing Africans blind. They robbing Haitians blind and giving them crumbs. And now that they got everything stable, they can go home. They already got it set, and they already got that area blocked off. So when you go to Haiti, they ain't got to worry about you getting involved with what they build when they built up the infrastructure to take that erodium. They got it straight now. Go back home. They didn't want them over there while they was building the infrastructure to take that stuff. But now that they got, trust me, if iridium is worth a lot of money, what kind of security forces is in that area? Is barbecuing them over there where that iridium at? Is all of them rogues in Haiti, are they over there anywhere close to where the government taking out iridium? Hell no. That area is blocked off. They ain't gonna show no films of that area or nothing. They got barbecuing them down there, keeping the country unstable while they rob them blind. They robbing them blind. The Haitians would be some of the richest blacks in the world. With a small population like that, and iridium and rhodium and gold and diamonds, how rich would they be? They'll be filthy rich. You know what I'm saying? They'll be richer than South Africans or anybody. They would probably be the richest blacks, to be honest with you, because it's a small population with a whole bunch of wealth. If you probably go by per capita, they by far the richest, like for real. Like super, super, super rich. Got them over here begging to stay over here for peanuts. And they're like, no, we don't need you over here no more. We done already conquered your shit. You go back home. Go home. Same movie they run, same movie they ran, same place, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, same play. East Africa, West Africa, same play. They just run the same play over and over again. Why you think they let all the Africans come over here? So they can go over there and take all their stuff. You know how much money in Nigeria? Just in oil? Why you think they let the Nigerians leave? Yeah, come over this way. Go in there and take all they stuff, everything they got, right? And then make us think, oh, why you helping them? They not helping them. What's next after trillions? Because that's how much oil's in Africa. Whatever's after trillions, that's what's in Africa. If you add all of the natural resources in Africa together, I bet you they ain't got no word for it. I bet you they ain't got no word for how much it's worth. Because zillions or some crazy word. I'm telling you. Zillions. Yep. They robbing the Africans. Got an African over here beefing with us. Oh, I tell you, man, black people crazy. You way from Africa beefing with us here, and you sitting on the richest continent in the world, and you here talking crazy. And then when you get out of line, they gonna send us over there to exterminate you. Duh. Crazy. Who you think they're gonna send over there to do you dirty? If you go too far, they're gonna send us over there. We're gonna dust you off. What? They already training us for computer warfare. They already got our sons on the game. Our sons ugly on the game. So they got the game and they got the equipment. The whole warfare is based on the game. Real warfare, like they teaching American kids real warfare on the game, like it's real war, like for real. Like I'm not kidding. They training on these games. These kids is killers. I ain't lying. Man, my son and my stepson will do you real dirty in war with the electronics, and they put them in a military room with them automated guns. You out of there. You out of there. I couldn't get nowhere. They kept unaliving me. I had to call my stepson and my son. They're like, Dad, you got to zoom. You got to pick up your scope and zoom out. They showed me push that button. It scoped. It showed the dude. I got him one shot. Dude was unaliving me back to back to back because I didn't know how to pick up the other rifle with the scope. The game was doing me ugly. My sons and them wasn't even playing. It was me against the game. I was playing by myself, but I couldn't do nothing. The enemy was knocking me out, so I finally called them. Hey, y'all, why I can't unalive this dude? They laughed. Oh, Dad, look, push that, pick that up, push that. When I picked it up and pushed that, I seen dude was this big. I popped him one time. I didn't know I had to change weapons and zoom. You know what I'm saying? I ain't lying. And they do it like it's the back of their hand. They train them. That's how all the tanks gonna be. That's how all the weapons, everything gonna be. That's how everything gonna be. Everything gonna be remote control war. And when they go into remote control war, as long as you know the remote control, you're gonna be able to go to war at 70. I'll be able to go to war as long as I can work the remote control. So now they got an infinite army. As long as I can work the control and I pass basic training with the remote control, I'm in. So they over there robbing Haiti. I want to tell y'all the truth what's really going on. That's why I'm sick of black immigrants, because they don't listen. We just wasting our time. You know, they not up to our level and they won't sit at the feet of Black Americans and learn. They don't understand. They don't got the experience with the European we got. We the only blacks born and raised and grown in a white country. We are the only ones. They turned South Africa white, turning it, but we our whole existence been in a white country. We're the only black people in the world that came up under white people, that have lived with white people. We the only ones. We are unique. We are the most unique blacks on the planet. That's a fact. So that's why we don't get along with black immigrants. Because black immigrants is still suckers. They still going for the old 1700. You know what I'm saying? They still, like back in the day, they go for the okie doke. The Aborigines is just a few people, and they didn't live in no developed country. They lived out in the wild. So the Aborigines don't count. I'm talking about in terms of a city and sophistication and politics and military. The Aborigines ain't been involved with, and then Australia's primitive to United States. I'm talking about in terms of science and technology. Okay, the automobile wasn't built in Australia. Australia is slow. America with cotton made more money than the whole rest of the white world. That's why they said cotton was king. America was number one, became the number one financial moneymaker. These is all facts. That's where we was at. This is the headquarters of industry and all of that. So we're the most advanced blacks. If you look at like even segregation was here. Then segregation was in South Africa. South Africa's behind us. For sure. South Africa's behind us. This is the United States. They're way back. Right? This is the United States. Back in the 50s. This South Africa in the 80s. Tell me I'm lying. This is my mama in them and my grandmama in them. This is I'm in my 20s when this was happening. I wasn't even born when this was happening. This is what we come from. We fought against this. The South Africans didn't fight against this for many years before they got in a fight. We led the fight to all of that. We've been on that. We are at the forefront. And you would think the other brothers and sisters would join in, and no, they jealous of us. Everything we got it the hard way. Nobody gave us nothing. Nobody gave us nothing. Everything we got it the hard way. Nobody gave us nothing. And we was at the forefront of all of that. Seriously. And then we went and helped everybody else. I remember when we helped everybody else. So I was born in 1958. I remember when the Africans first started coming over here. The Africans started coming over here in the mid 70s. They only let a few over here. They let more Jamaicans over here than Africans. They let more Jamaicans. Jamaicans was the ones they let in the most at first. Those are the first black immigrants we really started having contact and stuff with. Was the Jamaicans. But this is our history right here. This is my mom and daddy era. So that's why I'm disappointed with the I'm disappointed with the Africans. You know, they've been a huge disappointment to me. Maybe it's a lack of education. I don't know. But they've been a huge disappointment. To me. I feel like they're disrespectful. I feel like black immigrants is disrespectful when they come to the United States, to me. That's why I'm not happy with them. Because if it wasn't for MLK and Lyndon B. Johnson signing that civil rights bill, you wouldn't have been able to get on the airplane. This what my beef is with black immigrants. If it wasn't for MLK and Lyndon B. Johnson, this is how my mom and them was able to get on the bus. My mom and them couldn't even get on no bus or nothing. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't get on the bus. You know what I'm saying? Black men had to take their cars and pick black women up and take them to work. This is why when you come, you know what I'm saying? See the bus across the street empty? Black people walked for one whole year to get the rights to get on the bus. A year. The black people walked to work. If you can't get on the bus, you can't get on no plane. So make it make some sense. And so this is where the disrespect is at. You know what I'm saying? These people, and so all these other black people came and benefit from our blood, sweat, and tears. And then got enough to disrespect us in our turf. Like, seriously? My mama and them is the reason you can walk around here. My mama and my OGs is the reason I can walk around. People put their life on the line for you to walk around. You black. And then you come all the way from Africa and the Caribbean and hate on your brothers and sisters that's responsible for you to be able to get on a plane and go to an airport. See, that's what the Jamaicans all need to shut the fuck up. You understand? Because without us, you couldn't even get on no plane. Like, really. Like, really. Now you're over here beating on your chest. And then you wonder why you got xenophobia and them hurting each other in Africa, because the Africans is disrespectful, even in Africa. They don't even respect each other in Africa. Real talk. They're all down in South Africa, disrespectful to them Nigerians or Ghanaians, they go down in their brothers and sisters territory in South Africa and disrespect their own brothers and sisters in South Africa. I'm telling you. They don't got what we got. See, we came up on black power, black unity. Africans ain't got that. Africans is tribal. We ain't had no tribes. So we had to just be black. You black, you win. You understand? They don't come from that culture. They come from a divisive mentality. They don't like us. We got two different things. And that's fine, they want to do that, but then they coming into this turf right here doing that. That's where it get ugly. Because you cannot come over here with that and disrespect our ancestors. Seriously. Like, how you going to come in here and disrespect my mom and daddy that put their life on the line for you to come here from Africa on this internet playing? And see, I'm born in 1958, so I take it real personal. Because I'm one of the ones who was outside keeping it like this. My job was when the OGs and the older people got respect. My job was to keep the respect. My job was to make sure that the next generation of whites didn't try to cross the line back again. Without my generation, things could have went back the other way. An African couldn't even come over here. If it weren't for me and my team, you wouldn't have been able to come here. You wouldn't have been able to go to these schools and all that. Seriously. And then you come over here running your mouth, but we really be outside. That's another thing. You're professional mouth runners. Catch up with the conversation, bro. Come back later. You know what I'm saying? Catch up with the conversation. You know what I'm saying? You slow. So that's where the problem is at. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know the history. Now, a lot of these young dudes interrupt me, don't know no history. They won't shut the fuck up and listen. Listen, if you wet behind the ears, be quiet. Just be quiet and listen sometime. Stop thinking you know everything. You don't know nothing. Like a lot of you young brothers that is FBI. Why don't y'all shut up sometime and listen? Nobody never told you shut up when old people talking? You ain't never learned that? You really so slow you think you could tell me something? Just because your mom and daddy don't know nothing? What that got to do with me? Maybe your mom and daddy don't know nothing. Maybe they had abuse problems, substance abuse. I don't know who your daddy was. But I'm not him. Shut up when I'm talking. I'm not your daddy, okay? I probably would have did your daddy dirty, this big pharaoh. I'm telling these people some real stuff. Be quiet. This is where the beef come in at. You understand? This before me, I was a baby. All the times I go outside, every time I go get on the bus, every time I go somewhere, these the people the reason I could do anything. I owe them everything. I owe my mama and daddy and them everything. My mother went to school with the girls that got bombed in the church and unalive. Those were her schoolmates. My mom and my daddy used to have to get off the sidewalk when a white man walked past. My mama used to have to couldn't sit down on the bus. She had to hold her little brother and stand up. And she had to hold my uncle because if my uncle bump into a white man, they might pull him off the bus and unalive him. My parents born in the 30s. My daddy born 1931. My mom born 1935. Yeah, they like to sneak diss black Americans. That's why they got xenophobia where they at. I try to tell the Africans stop doing that because the next generation, they like to gangbang. And when these Africans keep playing with the young blacks, they gonna go outside and you're gonna get chased out the country. I'm giving them game. Africans is making a big mistake on this internet trolling black Americans. Because the next young generation of black Americans, they with the bullshit. I'm helping Africans over here. I'm telling Africans what you're doing is going to backfire. I'm telling you. Africans, get off this internet playing with black Americans. It's going to go outside. Duh. And you don't got no number. You don't got enough numbers. And it's more reason people like me, we don't like y'all. Because y'all bring that, y'all represent xenophobia. If you watch our discussions, you can see the Africans represent xenophobia. All they do is troll other tribes and other groups and start shit. That's why Africa's a hellhole right now. That's why they beefing in South Africa and all over Africa right now for that same behavior that they on this social media doing. Same behavior that they do to each other. They disrespectful, they childish, they got no sense of black unity. Africans. Africans have no sense of black unity. They some unorganized, tribalist losers. That's what Africans are. That's letting other people pimp them, take all their oil, take all their diamonds, take all their natural resources, and they want to argue with me while somebody robbing them of all their gold, all their platinum. They over there getting robbed, butt naked, and on the internet talking to us. Let that sink in. And somebody over there taking everything they got. Starbucks got all the Ethiopians' coffee. Ethiopia grow the best coffee in the world, right? Why it's called Starbucks? Where's the Ethiopian Coffee Company? How dare an African get over here talking crazy when you getting robbed butt ass naked in Africa? You're a nobody in Africa. Talk about how good you're doing in America. They only let you in America so they can steal your shit in Africa, dummy. You think they let you in America because you're great and smart? No, they displace you over here so they can take everything over there. Duh. They really think that they letting them over here because they smart. They really believe that. They believe they going to these schools and everything over here because they smart. That's what they believe. Because they smarter than us. That's what they believe. No, they had you come over here so they can go over there and take all this stuff. And your dumb ass over here trying to get education so you can work for the companies that's stealing your stuff, right? And then brag that you got a good job working for companies that got your cotton, your uranium, your gold, your oil, your coffee, your every company you work for is you working for companies helping them steal your shit. That's Africa. Africans go to Europe and America to help them process their stolen, their old stuff. They working for companies that's just a small amount worth where their own country is worth more, and they brag about how much money they make from Africa. Imagine an African brag about how much money they make in a continent that got all the natural resources, and they think they're making a lot of money. And that's bird seed. Like they getting bird seed. They getting bird seed. And come over here. And this is what they'll do to you. Come over. Come over. We know you're robbing you, but hey, at least you're doing better than the black Americans. Oh, that's right. I'm doing better than them. Yeah, you're doing better than them, boy. Now go there, boy. Get over there, boy, and push them buttons and get some money for this company. Don't ask me nothing about no natural resources in no Africa, boy. We're going to send your ass back home. You over here, you be a good boy, okay? You be a good boy. You disrespect black people. But don't you disrespect no white people, boy. We're going to send you back home, boy. Boy, you disrespect black Americans. Okay, we brought you over here to stop these black Americans. They on our ass. They own something. And we need you. Use the buffer, boy. We need you to slow down the black Americans. Because they the problem. You ain't shit. They the problem. We need you to stop them. We need you to go and act in a movie and take their money. Because they balling. We need you to come play in the movie for less money. I'll play in the movie for less money, master. So we need you to come be Black Panther for less. We don't want to pay them black Americans. We got to pay them too much. Okay? We got to give dude 50 million for this role. You'll do it for 15 million because you're a sucker ass nigga. Then they brag. We's gonna be in a new Black Panther. Master picked us. Nah. You know, Master pick us this time. And they make the movie, they exploit the continent. A lot of people go see it. The continent broke and dusty, being robbed by them. Nobody in Africa gonna get a quarter. It ain't gonna help the continent one bit. Ain't gonna help them one bit. And while you watching the movie, they're in Africa digging up all your stuff. While you watching Wakanda. Yeah, Wakanda. Yeah. Don't pay attention to the real Alkebulan. Pay attention to Wakanda on that screen, boy. Don't worry about that. Let us come and get this iridium and this rhodium and this gold and this oil. You go watch the movie, boy. You go watch the movie. And whatever you do, don't you mess with them black Americans. Don't you help them black Americans. Or we're going to deport you. That's how they got the Africans. Don't you disrespect nobody in this country but the black Americans. Then when you go back home, then you can fight amongst each other again. But when you come over here, we need you to fight against the black Americans. We paying you to fight against the black Americans to slow them down. They moving too fast. We're going to give you this role for cheaper, boy. We's gonna make you a big movie star. So they be happy. African is a Wakanda movie. We ain't watching that shit. Ain't no black Americans going to see that. So some dude on a date, trying to get some coochie. If you gotta go take a woman to see it, to knock her back, go ahead. Player, do what you do. But we ain't going to watch that. Why we gonna go watch that? You want to underpay us? You don't want to pay our people to do the movie? We ain't like them Africans. You can do them Africans like that. You can do them Caribbeans like that. But foundational black Americans, you want to cut us off a movie because you don't want to pay us? You think we gonna go see your damn movie? We ain't going to see that shit. We the real revolutionaries. Them all is sellouts. The rest of the blacks around the world, they sellouts. They are. They sellouts. Don't you know if you were some rebels, the first thing you do was rally behind the black Americans? That's the first thing you'll do if you was like real revolutionaries. That's the first thing you'll do if you want black people to rise up. You'll put all energy behind the black boy. We riding with the black Americans, period. No. They come over here tethering, hating, right in front. My mother always told me, don't be fighting in front of other people. Africans ain't got no problem with fighting in front of other races. They don't have no problem fighting other blacks in front of the Chinese, fighting other blacks in front of Europeans. That's what they do. They let the world see them hate each other. So we ain't on that. That's why there's a situation, because we really don't want to go the way they go. So we try to do videos and stuff and try to keep it more revolutionary how we go. We're not really comfortable going too hard in front of other races like they are. They ain't got no problem making videos. You black Americans ain't this in front of white people and Asians. They ain't got no problem selling out. We really don't want to do that like that. We only on African neck and Haitians in them neck because they didn't went too far. We sick of y'all. So we off code right now. We're like, listen, man, we've been playing too nice with these other blacks. Okay, the gloves is off. You know what I'm saying? They trying to take advantage of us because we ain't been stepping on their neck. That's what's going on. You understand? That's what's going on. We don't want to step on their neck, but they ain't giving us no choice. They forcing our hand. We're like, okay, they going too far. Okay, y'all going too far. We're gonna have to trash y'all. Okay, y'all then FA then finna FO. Like y'all going too far. And this just step one. That's why we telling the Africans, stop before it go to step 2 and step 3. You don't know nothing about us like that. You don't know us. We've been over here. You've been in Africa. You've been in the Caribbean. You other blacks, y'all don't know us. Okay? Y'all don't know us. We not y'all at all. We ain't nothing like y'all. We ain't with all that bozo shit, and we definitely not gonna let you come in here and fuck our money up. Go back to Africa, go somewhere. And y'all done went and did this stuff for the Trump. He gonna throw y'all all out. You'll see. Because y'all don't know how the game go. And once y'all come and they find out, y'all let the European know y'all ain't got no backup. That's what they did, y'all. That's what they did. Black immigrants is slow. It's 50 million of us, right? When the black immigrants come, it'll be nothing but 1 million, 2 million, 3 million at the most, right? So it's 3 million. So y'all 3 million, we 50 million. White America is 240 million. Why would you show the 240 million that you don't got the 50 million backup? So you run away to 50 million backup. Then you get out here with your little 3 million against 240 million. The 240 million look at you and say, Oh, they ain't got the 50 million backing them up? Okay, stomp them out. Am I lying? Is that not what happened? Is that not what happened? Have not black immigrants got in front of white America and showed them they don't got no backup? That's what they doing. You know that, right? They don't understand that. They basically going in front of Europeans and say, the black Americans, the 50 million black Americans don't like us. They don't back us up. The Europeans like, oh, you don't got no backup? Okay, 3 million, y'all. How much money we can make with 3 million compared to 50 million? Oh, we riding with the 50 million. Listen, ain't nobody gonna do nothing if we do y'all dirty. All right, call ICE. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. Now you disrespect the 50 million. You get on the internet, ICE coming to get us. We like, so, bye, later. Why you don't get no sympathy? Because you let us know you don't like us. You let white America know you don't got no backup, dummies. That's exactly what happened. And then you don't understand politics. Let me give you an example about Americans. We got black Americans, we got white Americans, right? Let me teach y'all something. We've been in this country from the beginning. So let's say some white people somewhere want to go to war with white Americans. Now, black and Americans and white Americans, we got some issues, but it's something y'all don't understand about people. If some white people from somewhere else try to get at white Americans, black Americans, we're going to be like, y'all can't be messing with our white Americans. These are white people. You know what I'm saying? Real, I know you ain't liking what I'm saying. This is how tribalism works. There's black American tribalism and white, but there's American tribalism, and Americans is a tribe. And so if white Americans got in a beef with some other white people, we're going to ride with the white Americans all day because y'all can't do nothing to our white people. These are white people. Don't worry about them. Yeah, white Americans, them are white people. Don't worry about them. We got them. Don't worry about our little argument, what we doing. Yeah, don't worry about that. But we're not going to let no Germans or nothing. We're going to come over there to Germany. We're going to do you dirty. Yeah. Yeah, if you Germany, wherever, and they all know that. They all know the black Americans going to come if we play with these white Americans because they all Americans. They know some American shit. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we, you know what I'm saying? We be united because we got sports. You know what I'm saying? So we used to watch Larry Bird. And we hated Larry Bird because we the Bulls. But we loved Larry Bird and hate Larry Bird. We only hated him when he playing the Bulls. But when he playing somebody else, we with him. We just don't like it when he kicking our ass. We don't like him. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we come up. You know what I'm saying? We growed up with white people. Like a family. We grew up with white people. Facts. A lot of militants don't like that. They don't like that because they're not realists. We grew up with white people, white Americans. We're not letting nobody do nothing to them, period. On top of that, if you do something to them, we're going to get casualties from it. So if we just sit and let you go to war with them, we're going to be casualties of that war. No, that's not going like that. We all on this soil, so we're going to protect this soil. White Americans is the same way. Black immigrants, white Americans is not going to deal with you going against black Americans. First, they're going to look at you as a rat, and white people don't like no rats. That's why you don't be seeing us aggressively originally going at black immigrants because they won't like that. See, that's a no-no in America. White America support us because they know this is retaliation. This is a response to hate. We ain't never spoke against the Haitians. We don't got nothing to do with the Haitians being deported. But soon as the white America threw out the Haitians started attacking us. And we don't got nothing to do with it. We don't got nothing to do with Trump. We don't got nothing to do with the fact that your dumb ass don't know temporary mean temporary, and you thought temporary gonna be forever, and you didn't go fight to make no change. You just sat there and laid on the word temporary. Temporary mean temporary, fool. You never made no moves to get no legal citizenship. You just linked on the country, ate off the country, got welfare off the country. Now you try to talk about how much economics you put to the country. You leached off the country. Stop lying. Y'all got welfare. Why is y'all lying? So you want to take 10 Haitians that got a good job and try to act like Haitians wasn't on welfare, that Haitians wasn't on Section 8. Haitians was on Section 8, getting free rent and everything. Black immigrants be over here on Section 8 getting free shit. Try to act like they worked and they showed that one African that worked hard. No, damn well y'all over here getting free services, free every goddamn thing, free housing, free whatever. Took stuff out of our mouth. That's our stuff. And never said, Black Americans, we know this stuff we getting free come from some of y'all tax dollars. Where the hell you think it came from, out the sky? Where y'all Haitians think the money came from? Where the tax dollars came from? All Americans pay taxes to help you. And Black Americans pay a lot of taxes over here. Okay? We pay more taxes than y'all got. Y'all ain't even got that much money that we pay in taxes. So stop with how much money you got. Black Americans pay more taxes than your whole gross national product. Seriously. Yeah, 52% of them is on welfare. Talk about we work hard, we this, we that, we this, we that. And then we can't get no help because all these foreign people getting all the help, taking all the money. Go to the welfare office, go to Social Security, and see who you see in there. All immigrants. Black immigrants, Asian immigrants, Hispanic immigrants, and white immigrants, but mostly Hispanic, Black, and Asian, especially Hispanic and Black, is the main ones in the Social Security office and in the welfare office. Them the main ones. And the main immigrants that talk the worst about us is the Africans and the Black ones. Go figure that. It ain't the Asians talking crazy to us on the internet the most. It ain't the white immigrants talking crazy to us the most. It ain't the Hispanic immigrants on the internet talking the most. You know who always be our worst enemy? The Black ones. The Black ones always got our name in their mouth. And without our ancestors, they couldn't even get on the bus. And they playing with the wrong ones. And this why they got xenophobia in Africa, because they're always hating on other blacks, on black in Africa. That's all they do. And that's all they do in the Caribbean. Because the Jamaicans say, hell no, don't send no Haitians here. You know why? Because the Haitians hate on the Jamaicans. The Caribbean blacks don't get along at all. Trinidadians and Jamaicans don't get along. Trinidadians and Haitians don't get along. Caribbean blacks hate each other, okay? Facts. Show me some Black Caribbean unity anywhere. Show me where they've done anything together. Show me. Show me what blacks in the Caribbean have done anything together. Anything. Show me Where the people in the Caribbean said the Haitians can come where they at. They're like, no, you can't come here, you're bomber clot, boy. Boy, you can't come here, boy. Me now want no Haitian boy in our Jamaica, boy. Boy, me now want no Haitian boy in our this country, boy. Our Jamaican, boy. Go away with them thing there, bomber clot, boy. Why I think? Jamaica, 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 boy. We don't want no bomber clot Haitian boy in our we land, you know. No one. Let's say this right. They say the melanated immigrants team up with the white racists to talk racist stereotype to black Americans. The melanated immigrants get suckered by whites to talk against black Americans. So black Americans are doing dirty. They be setting the Haitians up. The Haitians don't know that. Black immigrants don't know that whites be setting you up. They know. You think whites don't know when they trick black immigrants to go against us that black immigrants gonna lose? They absolutely know. See, they don't understand how this thing work over here. We call them send-offs. They sending the Haitians off. I'm telling you. Y'all think them whites don't know the Haitians finna take a L? They know. That's why when they come over there, they need to holler at us. They will send you off. That's what they be doing. They don't understand this. America's gangster. That's a gangster move. If whites want Haitians out of here, they'll have Haitians talk against black Americans, knowing that black Americans could push that button and you out of here. Now, you've eliminated that. You eliminate yourself. They tricked you and eliminate yourself. They already know. They say we don't have resources. See what I'm saying? What is resources? What is resources? No citizens have resources. Governments and businesses take the resources and make stuff out the resources and sell it wholesale to the citizens. See, that's why I say they slow. Citizens don't have resources. Citizens work for resource factories. Factories have resources. People don't have no resources. People have jobs. Jobs are created by resources. What? Gas stations don't have oil and gas. They buy oil and gas. All refineries got the oil and gas. What? So how you gonna listen to somebody from a third world country talk about American business? Listen, white people setting their ass up. Watch how many white people come to their rescue. None. Imagine being on the internet with white people talking against foundational black Americans, and then a bunch of white people from ICE come and throw you out the country. You know what I'm saying? Who they think ICE is? Who they think ICE is? Dumb as hell. Anyway, that's what's up with that. I got other stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I don't really hate Haitians. They just slow as hell. Black immigrants never respected foundational black Americans anyway. They just never really respected us. Even when I used to play reggae and stuff like that, the Jamaicans used to be real funny acting. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I played reggae. I played on the reggae scene a lot. And they would be on the stage saying one thing, but they really wasn't practicing what they was preaching. You know what I mean? The old Jamaicans was really standing on black unity. But as the ones that came in the early 70s, they was true. But the ones start coming in with the 80s, they was fraudulent. They was on stage talking about one love and stuff like that. But they looked at us as Yankees and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why reggae crashed. You know what I'm saying? Because, looking at me as a Yankee in LA and in Chicago is not good for your health. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't smart. See, the Jamaicans weren't smart either. Like you can't talk sideways in FBA territory. You understand? Because even when I was in LA, and you're a Jamaican in LA, and I'm from Chicago in LA, the Crips and Bloods ride with me. Blood on everything, cuz. They ride with me. They're not riding with you. The Crips and the Bloods not riding with you. You're a foreigner. That's how the Crips end up beefing with the Jamaicans and running the Jamaicans out. Same in Chicago. Once the gang started realizing that they was haters, it was over for the Jamaicans. The Jamaicans ruined reggae because the Jamaicans wasn't Rasta. Just a few was Rasta. And once people seen they wasn't really Rastas and they wasn't really pushing black unity and they was a Jamaican, well, if you were Jamaican, why you keep singing about Africa? Yeah, I thought you was a goddamn African. So that's why the reggae fell, because the Jamaicans were singing about Africa and Africans, but they was acting like Jamaicans. They was singing like they was Africans, but they was acting like they was Jamaicans. So black people like, if you can sing about Africa and still be a Jamaican, I can still be a black American. That's what happened. Because they knew they was fake. Like, oh, you ain't no African. After a while, they stopped being Africans. At first, they had on red, gold, and green. Next thing you know, they got on green, gold, and black. They started wearing the Jamaican flag. See, originally, they was wearing the Ethiopian flag. But they couldn't keep faking. They was fraud, so they went and put back on the Jamaican flag. And that scene died. And there was problems, too. There was problems with the Crips. Rest in peace to Jabir. We lost some brethren because the Jamaicans was beefing with the Crips in LA. And some foundational black Americans that looked like Rasta got caught up in it. I don't know what you is, bro, so I can't listen to you. You might be a tether. I don't be listening to no tether. You might be a tether. You got to identify yourself. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust no tether. I don't know what you is. You got to identify yourself. Yeah, you got to identify. We just don't be listening to strange people right now. We got a lot of spies and agents that don't be talking, from a realistic point of view. But now we don't be fighting white supremacy because white supremacy don't really be bothering us like that. We be having some problems with the police. They hide amongst the police, but we don't really be having white supremacy problems. So if you come outside, walk around Chicago, ain't no white person gonna say nothing to you. So when people talk about fight white supremacy, I know you a lane. You ain't outside like that. Because black Americans, we don't have no problems with no white people. Not in Chicago. We don't have no problems with no white people. White people don't say nothing else in Chicago. White supremacy is systematic. It's not in a way you could fight. It's funny you say fight white supremacy on YouTube. That's interesting. That's interesting in itself. You know what I'm saying? So you just talking, you don't know what you're talking about. Right now, supremacy and stuff is done economically. It ain't even done by race no more. It ain't even done by race no more. And they're not even doing white supremacy no more. White supremacy is over. White supremacy is over. These rich companies, they like to hell with everybody but a few rich people. These rich companies don't care nothing about white people no more. That's over. These rich companies don't give a damn about race. None. White Americans out here starving. White young people out here starving, crying all on the internet. Got to work two jobs on my soul. On my soul. We going into the technology era. We ain't going into no race. Race is over. Race is over. That's a fact. Race is over. We in the technology era, and this the haves and the have-nots. And they ain't giving you no break because you white. That's been over. That's over. They're replacing all people with robots and computers and shit. So how is that white supremacy when you go to the store and it's automatic checkout? Ain't no white person checking you out. You know what I'm saying? No, they're not even doing people at all. A class system is people. They're not doing a class system. They doing a technological system. It's the next level. White people are actually white people are actually better than all melanated foreigners, Africans and Caribbeans. To me, I definitely feel like for black people, I feel like white people is better for us than other black people for sure. I feel like we get a better shake, we get better opportunities, and I feel like white Americans, I feel like their thing is they don't got no problem with you making the money. They just don't want to live together and mix and have sex. But they don't hate you. You know, they always misinterpreted the KKK. It was never about hating you. It was about have white and then have black. Don't be trying to mix it together. They don't got no problem with you having a white town and stuff like that. That wasn't really white supremacy that did that stuff in Oklahoma. That was businesses trying to make sure black people didn't get that oil. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's economical warfare too. That was all about the oil. That was all about the oil in Oklahoma, for sure. Black Wall Street, that was about the oil. That wasn't about nothing about no lady, no race, no. That was about the oil. Because at that time, they found out Texas and Oklahoma had all that oil. And they wanted to burn not just black people, they ran white people off that land too. But they did it more systematically. They ran them white people out of there too. And only the barons, the rich oil barons, took all that from everybody. That's another video for another day. But the black immigrants, I think for foundational black Americans, I think we can't be dealing with the black immigrants because they're behind. So I don't think we can waste no lot of time on them. I'm gonna be talking about this because it's gonna be a big news story. So I'm gonna be talking about this like every day because this is gonna be historical. 300,000 Haitians put out. So this is gonna be like historical news. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm not talking about it to hate Haitians. I'm talking about it because I talk about the big things going on. And this is gonna be one of the biggest things in US history. This is going to be big. This is going to be the biggest deportation in U.S. history unless they stop it. That's a fact. This is going to be something else if they don't stop it. You ain't never seen nothing like this before. Yeah, they didn't want to give the survivors no money and none of that because it was still racist. So what they do, that's a good question. What they do is they'll get some races together, right, bro? And then they'll take those races and they'll put them in front of something else. So they'll be really racist, but behind the scenes, the racists don't really know who they working for either. So they got the racists in the front, bro, but they gonna rob the racists too. Did what they do. So yeah, there was real racists involved, but the racists were suckers, basically. The racists were suckers, thought that they was doing some racial stuff, but they was being manipulated. See, the rich would use racism to manipulate the poor white. So look at it like this. You got a slaves, right? You got some black slaves. And you need somebody to be out there and watch them. You need a white man to watch them so you can stay in the house in air condition. So you tell these white men, these blacks ain't nothing. They not like us. We better than them. Da da da. Y'all go out there and watch them. So now you in the air condition, the blacks is out there in the sun, the white dudes is out there in the sun, but you making them think that they better than the black ones, but they really not. They just ain't working as hard, and then they in little raggedy houses just a little bit better than the slave quarters. This is how they play them. Tell them they got a position. Look at the police. They do white police just like that. Tell them they got a position. Now you go out there and watch them, but the police work for the filthy rich, and then they get them peanuts. And now the first chance they get, they finna replace the police with computers. Yes, racist is just puppets, but yes, always been like that. Always that exactly. For the filthy rich, they don't believe in no racism. They don't believe in that. Soon as they had the boycott in Alabama, and they seen they was losing money, they told them white people, sit your ass down. These black people could get on this bus. And put black people in the bus. And then said, you know what, as a matter of fact, we got machines now. Y'all come up north. And told the black folks to come up north and work up north. We got machines to do this now. And brought black people up north and gave us all great jobs. We all had homes and everything. That's my generation. That's my mom and them. My mom and them born in the 30s. They had my mom and them come up here in the 50s, the mid 50s. They gave them everything. Nice houses, Cadillacs, everything. So did. Ask your grandparents. So ask them how black people was living in Detroit and Chicago from the late 50s on through the 80s. Like kings and queens. They snaked. They said, okay, now racism is over. We got to get some money. Just like that. Just turned on a dime. Turned on the dime. Okay, enough of this. That's what they did. Turned on the dime for the money. Say enough of this. Civil rights bill. Blacks is cool. This the picture. This the day they turned. Went down there, did the Confederate dirty. The Confederate was mad they get dirty, and they turned to bank robbers. They turned to Bonnie and Clyde, Dillinger. They went down there and took them people land. Yes, they went down there and took them slave owners' land and monopolized. You had these slave owners here, you had these slave owners there. These ones got a lot of slaves, they doing good. These ones struggling. The bank keep giving them loans, giving them loans. The banks went down there and took their property. When the banks went and took their property, because they was going to pass all the money to this one, they got the cotton gin, they got all that. They went down there, right? Then the whites did what? The whites went and got militias, and whites went and got militias to stop the banks up north from taking their farms. The whites sent the cavalry, Civil War. The Civil War was because the banks up north was foreclosing the property of the slave owners that didn't have a lot of slaves, that really it wasn't working for. Because they had the rich slave owners that had hundreds of slaves, and they had the struggling whites. They ain't got 20. They went out of business. So they sent the cavalry down there. The whites went and put together what ended up being the military from the South, and that's what started the Civil War. The Civil War was because the banks was taking their property. All them last years, the white was in the red. I don't know if y'all know nothing about farming. So every year when the cotton get ready, they don't got enough money to pay their homes. They didn't have enough money. So they got to get another loan and another loan and another loan, because the banks and stuff was funding it. So when you watch Bonnie and Clyde and all that, that's the grandkids of the whites on the Confederate side that lost their land, that started robbing banks. Then they was robbing banks, driving across state lines. The police couldn't chase them, so they put together the FBI to chase the kids of the white people that lost their property to the banks. That's why they was robbing the banks, because the banks had robbed their grandparents and their parents. Go and look at the timeline. And look at Bonnie and Clyde and Dillinger and all of them. That's why they was robbing the banks, because the banks took the land from their relatives. And they was robbing banks, driving across state lines. Boom. And then they put together the FBI. They got movies about it. They was robbing trains, everything. Yeah, they got movies about it. That's what happened. And then those other whites, they got bigger and bigger and bigger. They started sending the cotton up to Mississippi. Then they end up with so much cotton and so much money up north, they told the blacks, come up here. We don't need you down there no more. We got the cotton gin. We got fancy tractors. So they told the blacks, come up here. Because we got too much cotton. We're producing the cotton too fast. So they needed somebody to come and get all this cotton. This is one of the greatest pictures you can see. See how much cotton they had? Do it look like they had enough people to process it? They didn't have enough people to process it, because they sending it up on these steam engines. So they sending up loads, because they started using, instead of the train, they started sending it up to Mississippi. Yeah, it messed the steel industry up. Yep. So once all this cotton coming up this way, it's bringing in so much money, they're like, listen, we need these blacks up here now. We need these blacks up here. They're like, we need these blacks up here. It's too much money up here. We need these blacks up here. We got to give them good jobs. We can get more money. We get money now. We just had the Great Depression. We had all this. We got to get our bag up. Man, the hell with racism. They said, the hell with racism. They said, man, the hell with racism. We need to get some money. And what they said, boom, civil rights bill. Come get the bag. Civil rights bill, come get the bag. And that's when my parents came up. And we was living real good. Cadillacs, Buicks, all that. Private schools. I'm wearing tailor-made clothes and shit on my soul. We was living real good. I'm telling you, that's the real history. That's what really happened. Because they had to make some changes behind the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression. After the Great Depression, they like, listen, we got to make some changes. You feel me? After the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, they had to make some changes. Because it was real bad. It wasn't kind of bad. It was real, real, real bad. It was disaster, back to back. Back to back. Disaster. The Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, and World War II. Like bam, bam, bam. It was too much. That's the Dust Bowl. They ain't had no food or nothing. Real quick history lesson. It's real talk. This ain't no make believe. It was bad, y'all. It was bad. That's what made them had to kind of look, had to be like, listen, man, racism ain't gonna get it. We starving. You know what I'm saying? We starving. Yeah, we did. We saved America. We the one went to World War II and went and got in line and got them jobs and stuff and built the country back. If you look close, you see the black men in line. You can see the black men in line getting them jobs. So me and my sister born right behind all of this. They had to tap out like it was too much going on. They had to tap out. They like, we can't keep doing this racism. We got too much going on. They're like, it's too much going on. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody out of a job. That's why so many whites start fighting against racism. Because they're like, everybody's starving. We got to get some money rolling in this country. They're like, we got to get some money, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to get some money. You know what I'm saying? That's what time it became. They're like, we got to get some money. Enough plan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the gangsters made money. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Look at this picture. If you look right down the middle, you see the dude with the suit on with his hand in his pocket with the gangster hat on. That's the gangster counting that cotton money. If you look all the way to the left, you see the shooter. The shooter got on a long trench coat with his hand in his pocket. He's next to the black man post pushing the bell. You see these gangsters? See the shooter? This the boss in the middle. This the shooter to the left. Y'all see him? Put a thumbs up if you see him. Here's the boss of that move right there. Like he's the head dude in charge right there. And if you look to the left, you see the shooter with his hand on his pistol in his pocket. Then right down the middle, the guy with the long like apron on, he worked for him. He's the worker. He's the guy in control for the mob. He's the one counting the cotton. See? That's the mob, them three. That's the mob. You understand? See the shooter on the left? You know what I'm saying? And these the blacks. Now, do it look like it's enough people to move this cotton? No. So they say we need some more people, get some more blacks or get some people up here. So that's the Great Migration. Because now that they got these trains and they got these steam engines, they got more product coming, but nobody produced the product. So like, well, we getting the product, but we ain't got enough hands on deck. We don't got enough hands on deck because it was making more money than you can ever imagine. It was making all the money because cotton was king. Cotton was the leader of all, everything sold. Nothing was bigger than cotton. See, this is a real sign from back then. This is a real sign. This ain't no painting. Cotton, King Cotton, the leader of all. King Cotton. So this is how they turned all this around. Because it was just bad luck after bad luck. It was the Dust Bowl. It was World War. It was the World War. All that. It was too much. World War I, the Dust Bowl, all it was the Great Depression. It was too much. They're like, this country gonna fall. The South wanted to, but the South didn't have no money. You ain't got, you can't go to war. You got to get your money up to go to war. The South really was only mad because the banks up north robbed them. They robbed them and they sent the money to the big slave owners and robbed the poor slave owners. That's basically what they did. If you had slaves, you got 20. Mr. Johnson got 80. Your 20 slaves can't make no money. When the cotton gin come out, when the new tractor come out, who got the new tractor? Mr. Johnson got the new tractor. Mr. Johnson got the most slaves. Mr. Johnson got the cotton gin. So who's producing the most cotton? Mr. Johnson. Who's getting the bigger bag? Mr. Johnson. You, every year, you in the red. You got to get another loan from a bank, another loan from the bank. Then they foreclose you and give your land to who? Mr. Johnson. And if you look down south right now, it proves what I said. If you go to Alabama right now, you're going to drive and you're going to see one plot of land for miles, like one big industrial farm. That was the beginning of industrial farming. So this white man go broke. This white man get more and more money. The banks send the marshals down to collect their money and foreclose your property. You shoot the marshals. They send more marshals down with the cavalry, because back then they had forts. And so now they send the marshal down with the cavalry and take your land. So now the next time the cavalry come, the white men have put a group together to fight the cavalry. That group becomes what? The Confederate. So then the North say, oh, we'll go get the whole cavalry. That becomes the Yankees. That becomes the North. And there you go. Boom, Civil War. The Civil War popped off because the banks foreclosed on certain whites that couldn't make no money and was investing in the whites that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger cotton farms and more slaves and more production. So they foreclosed on all them people. All they clothes and everything, the bank paid for all that. Yes. 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 The banks made slave clothes. So if you was a poor farmer, they sent you the slave clothes, they sent you the food for the slave, they sent you the seed and everything. So now if you have a bad year, you in the hole. The bank come take your land, and who buy your land? The guy that's doing well buy your land. That's what started the Civil War. I'm gonna show you some proof, and we out of here. But here's proof. Listen when she say they made slave clothes. Victory.
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, two predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the plantation owners defaulted on the loans. Number 2, New York Life, an insurance company, sold insurance policies on enslaved Africans. Number 3, Wachovia. Two historical predecessors owned enslaved Africans and accepted them as payment. Number 4.
Hold on. Did she just not say they took their land? They took when they defaulted, they took their slaves and they took their land when they defaulted on the loan. Did she just not just say that? Did she just not just say that?
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, two predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the...
Hold on. 13,000. They took 13,000 slaves. Are you all listening? They took 13,000 slaves. 13,000 from people because you couldn't pay. $13,000.
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, two predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the plantation owners defaulted on the loans. Number 2, New York Life, an insurance company, sold insurance policies on enslaved Africans. Number 3, Wachovia. 2 historical predecessors owned enslaved Africans and accepted them as payment. Number 4, N.M. Rothschild and Sons Bank in London. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, the banking family's 19th century patriarch, made personal gains by using enslaved Africans as collateral in dealings with a slave owner. I have a list of this, so if I stumble, it's because I have a lot of chicken scratch. Number 4, Norfolk Southern offered slaveholders $180. That's $3,379 today. This article was written in 2013. So that's $3,379 today a piece for enslaved Africans they would rent to the railroad for 1 year. The Central Georgia, another company aligned with Norfolk Southern Line today, valued slaves at $31,303. Today that would be $663,033. Did I say that right? Yes. $663,033. Hopefully that came out right. Sounds weird. Number 5. U.S. Today found that their parent company, E.W. Scripps and Gannett, had links to the slave trade. Number 6. Fleet Boston evolved from an early financial institution. Providence Bank founded John Brown, who was a slave trader and owned ships used to transport enslaved Africans. The bank financed Brown's slave voyages and profited from them. Brown even reportedly helped charter what became Brown University. Number 7. CSX used slave labor to construct portions of U.S. rail lines under the political and legal system that was in place more than a century ago. 2 enslaved Africans were John Henry and Reuben. The record states they were to be returned clothed when they arrived to work for the company. Number 8. Canadian National Railway Company. The Mobile and Ohio, now part of Canadian National, valued their slaves lost to the war and emancipation at $199,691 on record. That amount is currently worth $2.2 million. Whew. Number 9. Brown Brothers Harriman, the oldest and largest private investment bank, founded 1818, owned hundreds of enslaved Africans and financed the cotton economy by lending millions to Southern planters, merchants, and cotton brokers. Number 10. Brooks Brothers, high-end suit retailer, got their start selling slave clothes to various slave traders in the 1800s. They got their start by selling slave clothes. Number 11, Barclays. British multinational banking and financial services company headquartered in London, has now conceded that companies brought over the years may have been involved in the slave trade. Number 12, Lehman Brothers. This business empire started in the slave trade. Quote from Joe Pelizzotto: "This is a sad part of our history or our heritage. We're deeply apologetic. It was a terrible thing. There's no one sitting in the United States in the year 2005, hopefully, who would ever in a million years defend the practice." 13, Aetna. Aetna? Aetna. U.S. largest health insurer, apologized for selling policies in the 1850s that reimbursed slave owners for financial losses when the enslaved Africans they owned died. Aetna has long acknowledged that for several years shortly after its founding in 1853, that the company may have insured the lives of slaves. A few other a few other corporations, companies that profited from slavery: Princeton, Harvard Law School, Tiffany & Co., Bank of America, Yale University, and Wells Fargo.
My poll tax certificate from 1960, when we had to pay $2 or $3 to vote, and we only made $2 or $3, so you had to choose between eating or voting. That was the suppression back in the 60s. If you missed one year, they doubled it up on you the next year. I didn't have to pay because I was a veteran. So this is my exemption certificate, but I had to show it. So when they say you don't have to show ID, we've been showing ID since we started voting.